I brought a pillow with me from the couch for a little later. But let's start lying down with the feet on the floor and the knees bent. So as you lie yourself down, feet on the floor, knees bent, bring your attention for a moment. This is how we'll take a few minutes to ground here, and this is how we'll do it. So we'll bring more awareness to the body. So you can start to notice your low back just above the bone of the pelvis, well, the hips. The pelvis is in the front, the hips are in the back. There's a bone there that's just above the buttock area. So the low back's around there, right? Between the back ribs and that bone. And oftentimes that is rolled up off the ground. So start to slide your feet a little forward or further apart and explore for yourself, well, how far away do my feet need to be so that that region of the low back and even the top of the buttock and maybe even the buttock itself, mid buttock, starts to feel like it spreads out on the ground a little bit more. So you just kind of you can bring the feet a little closer, a little further away, and just start to feel that for yourself. And then let's take the hands to the buttock flesh and very gently, just a tiny little bit, lift your buttock, pull the buttock flesh toward your heels and lower yourself back down. And see if that did anything to spread out the low back, the buttock area on the ground. From there, let's take the hands to the skull, to the back of the head, and just very gently, don't lift your head, just take your hands to lift your head and just lengthen the back of your skull away from your buttock, not so much that your chin pushes into your throat, but just a little bit to lengthen the back of the neck, to extend the head back so the throat feels even and long. You might place your hands on your low belly, feel that caverned out area, or maybe a hand on the belly and a hand on your heart, hand on your chest, making conscious contact with yourself for a moment. To take in how you're feeling at this moment. Yes, there will be thoughts. There might even be an emotion or some, but also include what's present in the body. Oftentimes, if there's an emotion that we don't want to feel, or if there's tension in the body, we don't want to feel it, we push it away. But that communication is information. And so if we could just take a moment to notice what it is, in a way, welcoming it in. Oh, you have information for me. Okay. Sometimes we don't feel like we have the time or energy to attend to ourselves, which is why we don't check in. But here you are, you've given yourself time to attend to yourself. And then for just a couple of moments, let's do a little bit of connecting with the face if you want to. You don't have to. So I'll just come up to, I'll describe it, but I'll also bring my face closer to that screen. So you can bring your thumbs just on underneath your eyebrow and your pointer finger just on top as if you were going to squeeze your eyebrow. But instead of squeezing the eyebrow, just press down and pull out. You can just go at your own pace. And if you don't want to do this, then don't do this. So you don't have to go fast. You don't have to go slow. You don't have to push hard. You don't have to push soft. Just find a pace and a pressure that feels nice for you. And we'll just do one more round. And once your fingertips come to the outside edges of your eyebrows, you can take your first and middle finger and make little circles around the temples. It doesn't have to be fast or slow, hard or soft. And then when you're ready, bring your fingertips, and you can add a finger here if you like. So it could be the first three fingers, or you can get your pinky involved too. Totally fine. Come to the cheekbones close to the ears. And we're just going to take the fingers like a comb and pull down along the jaw and open the jaw. And do that a few times if you want. So pressing into the muscles along the jaw. We might hold our breath while we're sitting at a desk. We might clench our teeth. Good. And then just one more time, if that's what you're up to. Good. And then let's bring the legs in. And rather than pulling your knees deeply in toward your ribs, let the legs be a little bit away from your belly, or away from your ribs, sorry, and your thighs like they're closer to your belly. So you're just keeping the low back on the ground, soften your ankles, and take a breath in to your belly and your low back. Feel them expand and release. Hands on the knees. We're going to take big circles to the left, away, to the right, and inward with the legs. So see about using your legs less and your hands more to direct the movement. Begin to cultivate your breathing. So maybe a slower inhale for one rotation and a longer exhale for one rotation, or a full round of breath in and out for each rotation. So you're just deciding what feels accessible right now. And when you feel even, just take your time. When you exhale completely and come back to center, let's begin again going the other direction. So the legs move to the right, we press them away, we move the legs to the left, and then in. And the circles don't have to be big or small. Just try and make them feel good. Maybe you hang out somewhere where you feel a little tension or something actually feels nice. You might pause there for a breath. Be about relaxing your jaw. If the teeth are pressing together, let there be a little space there. And when you come back to center and you feel even, we'll pause and keep the right leg where it is. So your fingertips can come behind the knee, giving a little pocket if that feels nice, or hands can come in top of the shin, the upper shin, the middle shin, or down by the ankle, whatever feels best in your body. We're going to keep this right leg in, so we're not going to let it move as we move the left leg. So keep the right leg where it is. It's going to want to push away from you. When you inhale, let's extend the left leg up to the sky. Pause here as you breathe. Take a look at your left toes, stretch them out. See if there can be space between your toes. There's usually a toe that doesn't want to push away from another toe. See what you can do since you can see it. And push your heel up to the sky. Keep the heel extending up to the sky and press through the arch of your foot and the toe mount. So you're not pointing your toe, but you're energetically pressing through the whole bottom of the foot. Toes are wide. Good. Don't let this right leg move. Inhale slow and full. And when you exhale, extend that left leg forward and down. Try and go slow. Don't let the right leg move. Keep pressing through the whole bottom of the foot. Try not to let the knee bend if possible. Extend through your arch a lot. Push through your big toe as much as you can to lengthen the inner thigh, the inner thigh. Keep pressing when your leg comes to the ground and push, push, push with the whole bottom of your foot. See if you can push from the low back to the buttock, through the whole leg when the leg comes to the ground. Breath here. And then inhale, bend the left knee, slide the heel across the ground and bring the left leg into your body. We'll switch legs. So the hands come to the left leg. We'll extend the right leg up, stretching through the toes, pressing through the heel, the arch, and the bottom of the foot. So we're not pointing the toes again, right? But we're really lengthening, utilizing the muscles of the legs. When this right leg starts to come down, this left leg's going to want to go with it. But if we keep extending, we have a better chance of utilizing the muscles in the legs and stretching the inner thighs and the low back. So take another round of breath. And then without the left leg moving, we're going to start to extend the right leg away from the body. So try not to just drop it. Lengthen through the bottom of the foot. Let your toes and your foot help you to make connection with the whole right leg. Lengthen through the arch of the right leg. In particular, the inner leg. Keep that left leg in. When the right leg comes to the ground, keep pressing, keep lengthening, keep extending. Get that low back on the ground for another breath. When you inhale, right knee bends, right heel slides across the floor and comes back into your body. Give yourself a little hug in. Beautiful. Inhale here. As you exhale, the feet come to the ground. Arms go wide. Roll the shoulder blades up underneath your body. So this is another piece about sitting in a chair. Usually our upper back is rolled forward. So let's bring those shoulder blades into the body. Let the ground help us to open the chest. You can start to heel toe the feet a little bit wider if you like, if that's nice for your body. We're going to windshield wiper the knees in a moment. So you might broaden the feet a little bit. Usually a little bit more space gives the hips room to move. So we're going to move with the breath. So as you exhale, knees start to go to the right, and we'll breathe back to center and exhale to the left. Now, rather than pushing the body to do something, oh, my knees are going to the right or left and I need to get them to the ground, don't bother with that. See about bringing your attention and your focus into your body and notice when there's resistance. When there's resistance in the outer legs, when there's resistance in the hips, try not to go past it. Try not to push through. See if the jaw can stay soft. The breath can help you to move, and the movement helps to warm the body up to go kind of deeper whenever it's ready. That could be months or years, who knows. For some of us, these bottom ribs are going to pop up and the low back will arch. See if you can keep that from happening. Try and keep the front ribs from pushing way out. Soften the jaw, the tongue. Try not to push the tongue anywhere. And keep the low back long, the belly long. So we're going to move back and forth just a couple more times, breathing in slow, exhaling long. And the next time that your knees release over to the right, we're going to pause. Slow breath in, long breath out. Notice if those ribs are popping forward. See if they can, you don't have to pull them in so much. You might imagine that they go down toward your pelvis. We're lengthening the low back on the other side of the body. Slow breath into this left hip and thigh. A little twist here. And then we'll inhale, come back to center. Exhale and release the legs to the left. So notice I've mentioned to breathe first rather than the head, the brain telling us, oh, it's time to go do something else. Let the breath draw our attention not only to the movement when we take a big act, like a big movement in the body, but also these more subtle energies of the body. So can you notice where there's tension? Could you send a breath to the outer hip or the buttock or even the jaw so that the exhale could soften and smooth something? Notice those front ribs. See if they're pushing out. Maybe draw them in or gently down. You might notice a little bit more sensation in the thigh, this right thigh as a result. On an inhale, we'll let the inhale draw the knees back up to center. And we'll pause. And then we're going to slide both feet long. So the legs are now going to be long. Good. So as the legs go long, we're going to move into, this is kind of a yin shape. Yin shape. So it's more of a stretch, less of a strengthening. It's called banana. And I always like to mention that because as adults, we don't give ourselves the permission. We don't really get to play as much. But these are little playful poses in a way, at least the name of it is. So we're going to start by the right side lengthening. So we're going to take the left leg and just diagonal slide it out to the left a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. It could be a little bit. You can always change how much it goes off to the side. And then the right leg is going to slide over to meet it. So now from the hips down the right side of the leg has just gotten longer, right? There's a little bit of a curve. So you can stay here and breathe into that. If you notice that all the weight is dumping into your left side, come back a little bit so that there's more evenness in the hips, okay? Bring the legs back a little bit. So you can stay here like this, or you can take this left shoulder and start to slide it towards your left ankle. So this is the beginnings of the banana shape. So now from the hips up on the right side, there's this curvature as well, like a banana. Anyway, so your arms could stay along beside you. You could have cactus arms, so the elbows are bent, fingertips face backward toward your head. And let's imagine that the breath The inhale could start at the bottom of the feet. And as you inhale, you feel the sensation in the inhale and you track it going all the way from the bottoms of your feet, up your legs into your hips, belly, ribs, and chest, up to the fingertips, crown of the head. And as you exhale, that breath sweeps back down through the whole body. So bottom of the exhale leaves the bottom of the feet. I'm going to try that a few more times. Notice if there's any tightness in the groin or if the tongue's pushing into some part of the mouth. I think it's possible to soften that just a touch. One more round of breath. Long exhale sweeps from the head down the body. The inhale is going to bring us back to center. Just take your time. So bring the legs back in line with the hips even with the shoulders, and arms beside your body. Take a round of breath here and notice the right and left sides of the body. Good. And then we're going to start to come to the other side. So I'm going to turn myself so maybe it's easier to see it on the other side. So the right leg will slide out to the right, any amount, doesn't have to be far. And the left leg will follow to meet it. And when we do that, if the right leg goes way, way, way far out and the left leg comes to meet it, this left hip and left backside of the body is going to lift up and want to roll over. So we've got to come back a little bit and meet the body with where it's at. So here's how the brain and the body come together. They work together. So you've got this curve, right, in the lower part of the body, just a little bit. So now if you'd like, we can take this right shoulder and slide it toward the right ankle. It doesn't really, it's not going to go that far down, right? But that's the idea. So that now there's a curvature in the upper part of the body. So I can do cactus arms, you can do arms beside you, whatever feels nice. And now there's this elongation, lengthening on the left side that we can start to breathe into. Tracking the breath from the bottoms of the feet all the way up the body, through the crown of the head, and feeling, tracking, sending the exhale downward, out the feet. Softening the jaw any amount, relaxing the tongue. One more round of breath. Next time you inhale, allow the inhale to move the legs and the upper body back to center. Next inhale, we'll slide the feet toward the body. And just one more time, we'll go back and forth with the legs, windshield wiper, noticing if everything feels exactly the same or anything has shifted. We're just noticing how things feel. Maybe rotating to the outer edges of the feet. Take another round here, back and forth. And so when you come back to center and just take your time, we'll extend the right arm along your ear so that as you roll to your side, you have a pillow for your head. And then press down with your forearm and hand to roll yourself up. I'm going to sit myself on a little pillow because I have one and that's nice for my body right now. You do not have to, but do try and find a comfortable seated position for yourself. That could mean that the legs are crossed. The legs could be long. You could sit on your shins. It's totally up to you. Okay. So we're going to extend the arms to come in to have a little stretch in the neck and and we'll see what else we get to, and maybe the back a little bit. So to begin, we'll inhale and extend the arms out and up. Hands can touch or not. Exhale, palms come together and down the midline of the body. So this is the saying hello to the sides of the ribs, the armpits. Inhale, come on up, press your sit bones down, get longer in the torso. Let your head and neck go with you this time. So inhale, lift your chest, let your eyes go up, open the throat, and exhale, come on down. Good. We're going to leave the left arm where it is. Inhale, extend the right arm halfway up. Exhale and bend the elbow, sweep the arm behind. Inhale, extend out. Exhale, bend, press your wrist into your back. Inhale, extend out. Exhale, bend the elbow. We're going to stay here. Press your wrist into your back and take the front of your shoulder and roll it back. So take your shoulder blade into your body, bend that elbow well. Okay. So you've got your right arm behind. You've opened this kind of clavicle upper chest piece. We're going to inhale, collarbones broad. As you exhale, chin to chest. Now the clavicles are broad, the shoulder, outer upper arms push back. We're going to keep the chest open instead of rolling the upper back forward. Press the sit bones down. So from here, we're going to do quarter turns with the neck and head. So as you inhale, we're going to roll the chin toward the opposite ear, so toward the left ear. Let that right arm and shoulder be heavy. And exhale and roll the chin and ear back down, chin to chest. So a few more times like that. You might, as you go along, you're rolling the ear toward left shoulder. You might pause and rotate the chin up toward the sky or down toward the ground. And notice different areas of lengthening in the neck, and in the trapezius. So that's as the neck and shoulders meet. There's a muscle there. You could press your head back and space a little bit. Notice what happens in the front. And do one more round. The exhale will bring your chin to your chest. Inhale, lifts your chin parallel to the ground. Exhale completely, release that right arm. Good, other side. So we'll inhale halfway, left arm. Exhale, bend the elbow, hand comes behind the back. Again, inhale, halfway, extend out. Exhale, bend the elbow, wrist presses into back. Last one, inhale. Exhale, elbow bends. So it's the back of the wrist. So what is that? The top of the wrist. The back of the hand is on your back, right? Fingers can be spread wide. Press into the back with the wrist or the back of the hand. And the shoulders, oftentimes they roll forward. So we're going to roll it back. We've got to take that shoulder blade. It will maybe feel like the shoulder blade rolls into the back body. Exhale, chin to chest. Collarbones stay broad. Outer upper arms go back. Quarter neck rolls here. So inhale, rolling right ear to right shoulder. Exhale and release, roll back down. So we're just letting that left shoulder and arm be heavy. Notice if you're holding tension or holding it up. The elbow's bent, but we're not pushing the arm up or holding in the neck. I'm gonna do one more round. Of course, the chin can rotate to the sky or down toward the ground. Head can push back. Letting your breath explore sensation as your chin comes to your chest. One more time. Inhale, chin parallel to the ground. Exhale and release. Good. If the legs are crossed, uncross them, stretch them long, press through the heels, lengthening the backs of the legs. Good. And then if you'd like, you can recross other shin in front, or again, sit on your shins, or have the legs stay long in Dandasana. Lateral extensions here. So we're going to extend the arms out and up, press the sit bones down. We're going to laterally extend to the right hand to the ground, left arm across. Left sit bone pushes down. Left sit bone pushes down. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Press the head back in space. Breathe from the hip through the side of the waist, the ribs and the armpit. As we exhale, we're going to roll forward. So the left hand comes to the ground. We roll forward any amount, walking hands back to center. Inhale, extend arms out and up. Come on up. Lift the throat, open the throat. Exhale, other side, lateral extension to the left. So the right sit bone now pushes down. You can use your left hand to help with that, but then go ahead and do it yourself. The right shoulder here will soften. Right shoulder softens away from the ear, so there's space along the neck. Doesn't feel like the arm is squishing the neck. Slow breath in here. Press the head back in space. Let the chest feel open. As you exhale, we'll sweep the right hand down to the ground, roll forward over the legs. Now we're going to move with the breath. Inhale, extend out and up, sit bones press down, grow long through your torso. Your exhale takes you to a lateral extension to the right. Keep exhaling, sweep the hand forward, roll forward and fold. Inhale, the chest lifts up, the arms come up, the head looks up. Exhale to the left. Keep exhaling as the right hand sweeps to the ground, down, rolling over the legs. So this is how we'll move. One slow full inhale to lift. One long exhale for the lateral extension, roll forward and fold. We're going to do 3 more rounds. Your breath really sets the pace for the movement of your body. Notice if the tongue is pushing in the mouth. Just let it be easeful. So we're going to get even here. We're going to rock, wrap up this part. So take your time when you've done your 3 rounds. All we're going to do is pause in the center when you're ready. So my pace will be different than yours. And then we'll roll forward into tabletop. So just take your time. Whenever you get to tabletop, please spread the fingers well and evenly and get the joints underneath each other. So wrists are underneath shoulders and knees are underneath hips, and just a little bit of movement of the spine here. So we can exhale or inhale and round the spine. Let the head go, shoulders roll back, and the breath will move us to arch the spine. And that might feel like the ribs pop out, but really here we're isometrically pulling the hands back so the chest opens, collarbones get broad. We don't have to push the head up. Okay. Just being mindful of moving here, the spine. And maybe there are other little, ways that it feels good to move your spine. Maybe the hips and the head go side to side as you round and arch the spine. That's great, let it feel good, whatever your movement's going to be. Good. And then let's find stillness. When you're complete, big toes touch, knees go wide. We'll take a slow inhale here. And as you exhale, press the hips to the heels and extend the belly, ribs, chest, and arms forward. Now, we're not going to stay long. Inhale, slide back up. Bring hands underneath the shoulders, hips above the knees. Exhale and start to push the hips back. Extend the belly forward. Extend the ribs forward. Try not to just fall. So you get longer. One more time. Inhale. A little bit, I will tuck the tailbone. It's a weird feeling, but I will to help lengthen the low back into child's pose. Get as long as you can with your torso, and then maybe you want to rest your arms here on the ground. Maybe you want to bring your arms onto your thighs. So the upper arms can rest on the thighs, the backs of the hands can be out beside the feet. This will broaden the upper back. Take a nice slow full inhale into the back body. Nice long exhale through the nose. One more time, slow inhale through the nose. Through the nose, long exhale. Good. If the arms are not already extended forward, palms on the ground, go ahead and get them there. And then we're going to slide. You can press your palms down to lift your chest up, lift your head up, and we're going to slide forward onto the belly. And as we slide forward onto the belly, you can have the elbows out to the side and rest your forearm or rest your head on your stacked hands or forearms. You could have one cheek to the ground and the arms out to the side. Or you could come onto your forearms for a moment. It doesn't matter. We're going to lengthen the hip creases, right? So We'll take the right leg and lift it up and pull it back and release it back down. And then notice if it feels a little longer, weirdly, than the other leg, right? It's not really the leg, it's up in the low back. So we're lengthening the back body, right? We'll do the same thing with the left leg. Lift the leg, pull it back, and release it back down. Good. A few slow breaths here. Take your mind to your pelvis in the front, low back in the back. And imagine that there's a warm compress on your low back. See if you can exhale and soften the low back. So just a few more breaths like this. Every exhale, imagining the low back could soften. The pelvis is on the ground, it's not lifted up. One more round of breath. Good. And then let's slide the hands beside the chest and tuck the toes under. We're going to press back into downward facing dog. So take your time, move with your breath, pressing down. The hips pike. I almost said peak. They pike. Let's bend the knees, extending your arms. Press the finger mounds where basically the knuckles press into the ground. Press those down. Press the heels of the hands down. Extend the arms. Bend the knees and lift your hips up. Bend your knees and lift your hips up. Bend your knees and lift your hips up. Try it again. So when you do that, your back's going to want to come forward. Your upper back's going to want to come forward. Don't let it. Keep pressing your arms away, but soften your jaw. And then keep the hips high, but lengthen your legs. So keep your heels up off the ground, but your legs are long now. Nice big inhale. Good. Keep your legs long as you exhale. Now your hips are really high. And we're going to take the inner thighs and start to pull them back. Try and use your legs a little more now. Pull your inner thighs back as your heels start to come toward the ground. Pull your inner thighs back as your heels start to come toward the ground. Pull your inner thighs back. Inhale. Exhale to tabletop. Good. In tabletop, let's bring the right leg outside, forward of the right hand, outside. So right foot comes outside the right hand. Good. Yeah, that's it. The left knee can stay underneath your left hip if you want. So from the side, it can stay there, or you can slide it back. That might feel nice in the hip crease. That's up to you. I'm going to show this from the side. Good. So from here, we're going to lengthen this front leg. So rather than just forward, it can go out to the side if you like, diagonal. And then start to lengthen yourself forward any amount. So there will be a sensation in the inner leg and the back of the leg. And see about breathing into it. So the toes are up off the ground. The bottom of the foot is up off the ground. And then another round of breath. When you inhale, start to slide that heel back outside of your hand. Yeah, good. And then let's bring the leg back. So you're in tabletop again. Good. So now it's the other foot. The left foot comes forward outside the left hand. If you want, the right knee can stay underneath. Sorry, I got messed up. Yeah, right knee can stay underneath right hip, or you can tuck the toes and slide that leg back. That's fine. We're going to take this left leg and keep sliding. And then come forward a little bit. And bring the weight forward a little bit. So the toes are up off the ground, bottom of the foot. You can explore here. You could explore pushing the weight a little back, feel more sensation in the back of the leg. You can explore coming forward a little bit. Bring that back knee back underneath you a little bit when you come forward. You'll feel more sensation in the inner leg. It's a variation of Hanumanasana, the split. One more round of breath. And then with your breath, slide that heel back and come back to tabletop. And from here, we're going to walk the legs out. Tuck the right toes under, slide the right heel back, push through that heel. Isometrically press the palms down and back towards your legs and let your heart pop open. Breathe. Good. Pause here. You can stay here or start to slide those toes of the right leg beyond the left foot. So this is extending, right? There's going to be a lengthening of that outer right side. Again, like when we were laying on our back in banana. Compress through the heel again. Take a nice big inhale, isometrically pull the hands back. And maybe exhale and look over the left shoulder, see if you can spot your right toes. C curve in the spine, taking a nice deep breath. Wherever you are, we'll inhale and come back to tabletop and exhale there. And then other side. So we'll take that left leg, tuck the toes, slide the heel back, press through the heel. So you really lengthen the back of that leg. Isometrically pull the hands back so the chest pops open, and then you're welcome to stay here or slide the left toes and take the left leg with you beyond the right leg. Try not to let the hips sway way out to the side. Keep that outer right hip pulled in. And maybe see if you can peek over the right shoulder. Take a look at the toes. Breathe into the curve of the spine and the length of the left side body. One more round of breath. Inhale back to center. And exhale. We'll come to sit for just a moment. The legs are forward. We'll take the fingertips behind the right knee and slide the heel in. The belly is in between the legs, so there's room for the belly here. We're going to inhale and extend the right arm up. Press the sit bones down. Press the left heel down. One more inhale, lift up nice and tall. As we exhale, we're going to start to turn the upper body and bring the hand behind. Now I've gone up on my fingertips to get a little leverage. So rather than coming way back, the spine is long and lifted up. Now, maybe the belly's in the way. So just take your hand and bring your belly with you. Pull it over to the side. Walk the hand in as much as you can to keep the spine lifted up. Take a nice big inhale and this left arm is just going to hold the front of your knee. As you exhale, we're going to imagine that we're using the leverage, the left arm kind of pulling back on the right leg to turn the spine from the bottom. So you're turning the belly, opening the chest, and rolling the shoulder blades into the back. One more inhale. And exhale to unwind. Coming back to center. We'll go to the other side. So fingertips behind the left knee, sliding the heel in. There's space between the legs. Good. So here we're going to inhale and extend left arm up. Exhale and start to turn open and place that hand behind you. Now you might need to come back, bring your belly with you, and then walk the hand as close behind you as is comfortable so that the spine can lift up, right? So I know that we're working spaciousness here, the belly and the back and all of that. So hold on to this left leg. Try not to let the left knee pull in, right? It's not about pulling in so much as we're just getting a little leverage. So press down with the back hand, lift the spine up, inhale. As you exhale, that the right heel is going to push down, the right toes are going to face the sky, and we're going to start to turn the belly open beyond the leg, turn the ribs, and bring the shoulder blades into the back body. Nice big inhale, lift up. Slow exhale to turn. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, release. Good. Let's slide the back body onto the floor. Good. Bring the legs into the body and broaden the knees as wider than your torso, wider than your torso. Slide the hands inside of the legs. So the legs are wider than the torso. I'm going to slide the hands inside of the legs and hold on to the shins and then lift the feet to the sky. You can bend more the knees if that's accessible, and the hands walk toward the ankles, but the shoulders are on the ground, so I'm not lifting up to make contact there, okay? So that means the spine is long. So walk your hands more down your legs to get the shoulders on the ground and to get more of the low back on the ground. It's a little bit of happy baby here. You might stay still or rock side to side. We'll take a few breaths. The next time that you inhale, bring the bottoms of the feet to touch in the air. Bring the bottoms of the feet to touch in the air. Your knees are still bent out. We're going to keep this shape and release the legs to the ground in Supta Baddha Konasana. So the bottoms of the feet touch. The pinky toe edge of the feet are on the ground. Let's roll the shoulder blades up underneath the body and take the buttock flesh toward the feet any amount so that the low back is nice and spread out. Slow, full breaths. Breathing into the belly, breathing into the ribs, breathing into the chest, exhaling from the chest, down the ribs, the belly releases and relaxes at the bottom of the exhale. Take a few more rounds of breath. Very gently, we're going to begin to transition. Just take the right leg and start to slide the heel forward and maybe out in a diagonal a little bit. Rotate the thigh, the knee, and the toes so they face the sky. And then same thing with your left leg. We're going to start to slide that left leg long and maybe out in a diagonal, just a little bit of a diagonal if you like. Thigh, knee, and toe rotate to the sky. Extend the arms out, up, and back down. Move into Shavasana. And in Shavasana, you want to be comfortable and releasing, relaxing our effort. A time to integrate. So softening the attention on the breath, letting the breath become softer and shallower. Doing less with your body. Be about releasing, holding the neck or the head in a particular way. Let the knuckles of the fingers, including the thumb, soften. Maybe bend a little, and the same thing with the toes. And then feel your body supported by the earth. And begin to notice your soft inhales. And on one of those soft inhales, slide the hands to the belly. And on a soft inhale, slide the heels back into the body. And extending an arm across your ear, please roll to your side. And take a moment before you press up. Come to a seat. Take a moment to notice how you feel. And if you'd like to end with the sound of Om, we'll inhale. Bowing the mind to the light at your heart. Shanti, shanti, shanti.